Hi, my name is Gabby and welcome back to my channel, Gabby on Paper. In today's video, we are going to budget out the second paycheck of February. So let's go ahead and get started. Before we get into it, I kind of wanted to give you a couple of quick updates or just make a couple of notes. First of all, I did not film a mid-month check-in, and that's just because this week has been so completely crazy. I haven't had time or energy to do it, so I decided to skip it this month. It's a short month anyways, so it's fine. I still looked over my budget to see where I was at and how much I had left for the month. I just didn't take the time to film it. The second thing is that my boyfriend got a new job. I don't think I've mentioned this before. He was working for a Utah company here in Chicago, and now he's going to be working for a company here in Chicago where he can go into an office, and that's going to be really good for him to get out of the apartment a little bit more. He starts on Tuesday. So today is Friday, February 17th. He'll start on Tuesday right after President's Day. And it is a pretty significant pay bump for him. That doesn't affect my finances in any way. We pay for our own things, split our rent down the middle. So nothing's going to change here, at least for now. But it's just exciting for him to be moving up. And then just the third and final thing that I wanted to note is that we did renew our lease. Right now we pay $2,236 a month for our one-bedroom apartment here in Chicago. And then on top of that, we pay a $120 utility fee to our building. And that includes, I guess, utilities and internet. So that's why you never see that on my budget. We renewed at $2,280 and $123 utility fee for our unit. So it didn't go up a lot. I honestly, when things were crazy, was expecting like a crazy price hike. I was thinking about how much more I'd be willing to pay to stay in my apartment. And I think what I had come up with was about $150 to $200 more and still stay in our apartment. And this is for my portion. My boyfriend would obviously have to match that on his end. But thankfully, that was not even a concern. We were thinking for a little bit, maybe moving a little further out from, like still in the city, just a little further out. But ultimately decided against that because we do really like our apartment, and two, we like our area and how convenient it is to get everywhere. We're pretty close to the lake, to the river, so it's nice summertime walks. And then there's just like, it's just so quick to hop on the train and get anywhere from where we are, which we really love. Like if we would have moved, the reason we would have done it is for cheaper rent, because I know we can find cheaper rent, but we like our area. So we are going to stay here for another 16 months. So we have 2 months left on our original lease plus 16 months, so a year and a half left in our apartment, and we're going to start making it really feel like a home, buying a rug, maybe a chair, things like that. My boyfriend did negotiate 1 free month of rent with our new lease. So in April, we don't have to pay for our rent because of the promotion that we had when we signed our original lease. And my boyfriend was able to negotiate another free month of rent for our second lease. But that won't be until the end of, like, the last month of the lease, which is fine. It's really nice because I wasn't even going to bother with that. I told him he can do it if he wants it, and he did it, and it's awesome because it worked. Because we did try to negotiate once in Utah, and they were like, no. So I was like, oh, they're not going to do anything about it. But they did. And I love that. And it's exciting. We're getting into this whole negotiating thing. Like, he negotiated his salary, I negotiated mine, and now a free month of rent. I feel like we're really growing up. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into the budget with me. We have $1,832.71 to budget. And we're starting in February this month because I have to, 1, cover overspending, and 2, I'll go over this in just a second. But let's start by covering the overspending. I wasn't sure if I was going to cover this from one of my categories and move money around, or just cover it with ready to assign, but I've decided to just do it here. I'll just do it over here. So it's just a $5 cash gift that I gave to someone on the train that asked me, and it kind of backfired because he hugged me, and I just don't like to be hugged by anyone. Like, not even my sister. Like, it just feels a little awkward to me. So then he hugged me, and I was just like, I don't know you, but it's okay. And then our ComEd bill, we're on an equal pay program where we pay the same every month for 6 months, and then they adjust. So it started off pretty low, like at $49, jumped up to $83, and now it's at $107. So I've adjusted my target, meaning I need an extra $12 for my portion to fund my February bill, which I guess technically this month, since it's short, is going to go into March, but we'll see. But that's all I need to do in February. It's fully covered. We're actually going to finish funding March today with this paycheck. So first we'll send $271 to my Roth. We'll finish funding the rent. AT&T is done. ComEd was done, but now we have to add another $12 to that. All right, that's looking pretty good. My YNAB subscription did go through in February for the whole year, so now I'm saving up for 2024. And then once that went through, I created a target starting in March to save up the money for next year. That's why this wasn't funded prior to this paycheck. But all that is finished. Okay, food. We'll do the normal $250 to groceries, $200 to dining out, $50 to work lunches, and $50 to treats. What happened here? Okay. So that takes care of all of my food categories. Took the majority of my money, but that's okay. I've mentioned this before, but the delivery is just for the few times that we get food delivered. I will actually just transfer money from dining out down to delivery and cover it that way. It's just, we don't do it very often because it's expensive and I prefer my food fresh if I'm going to spend that kind of money. So, yeah, when I need it, I'll just send money down there, so that's not getting funded. My variable expenses like entertainment and miscellaneous are covered. That is all done. And this is very exciting because with my tax refund, I was able to reach my goals on some of these smaller sinking funds, so I don't have to fund them until I use them, which is very exciting. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and send $100 to Christmas. And that's it. We are fully funded for March and still have $263.96 to work with. So now that we are going to be budgeting the extra, I'm going to go back to February and do it there. I think to start, let's start up top. I'm going to send $75 to my boyfriend's birthday, which fully funds his 2023 birthday. Because if we go forward 1 month, we're at $500, which was my goal. That's very exciting because I've been working on that for a while. Next is travel. I'll go over this in my budget recap that I will film. But I booked a trip. So as you can see, I spent some money. So I'll discuss how I'm handling that, and where I'm going, and who I'm going with, and all that. So we'll save that for now. I'll just add a little extra money. And I actually want to bring this up to an even number. So that needs plus 58 cents, I believe. Yep, $16.30. It's looking good. Okay. So travel is a focus on now category because of this trip that I've planned. I want to send a little extra money to it so that when I come back from the trip, my sinking fund is not drained. Miscellaneous is the next focus on now category, and that's because that's the next lowest. Once I get this filled up, I will move up some of the other sinking funds and focus on that, unless there's an area that something comes up in, like travel. This was not going to be a focus on now category until we book this trip, and now I want to send extra money towards it. And because this is like the largest sinking fund amount that I want to have, it was going to be the last one that I get to, but not right now since, again, I have something planned. But let's go ahead and send $50 to miscellaneous. So Lisa's $38.38.
Let's send. Okay. 338 to holding just to get that today's number. Alright, you know what, let's go ahead and do that. We'll do that at the end.
I want to send a little extra towards gifts. I just want to have a little more available in case I find something that I want to gift someone. I'm not going to send a ton of money to it, so it's not a huge like focus on now category, but I will send $870 to get that up to $40. So just a few extra dollars, which is not bad. Let's go ahead and get this to a nice number 2. Plus, let's get this to 200. All right, and then just to finish up here, we'll send $362 to my holding category. Get that.
Why did I do that? Okay, I missed that.
And then I'm actually going to send the full $20 to my wish list item. And that's it. We're making some progress here. None of these focus on now areas are super like important or critical now that my boyfriend's birthday fund has been taken care of. The trip that I have is not till May, so I have some time to like really build this up. I'm going to really focus on getting some of these other smaller categories like funded to where I want them to be. And if you've missed it, my plan is basically to get up to this amount and then move on to the next sinking fund that I want to work on, which would just be the next smallest, which in this case would be home goods or gifts. That's where we are for now. Everything's looking so good. I'm so happy. March is a 3 paycheck month, so I'm extremely excited about that because that means I will be able to do a lot with it. I'll have my April funded with my first 2 paychecks, and then the 3rd paycheck will just be to do fun things like take care of sinking funds and maybe give myself a little spending money. I'm not sure. But thanks so much for joining me in today's video. If you haven't done so already, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe. Bye.